Welcome back to Half A Hot Rods. Last time we showed you how to fit the front clip of this 57 Chevy on a 97 chassis. This week we're going to work on fitting the cab to the 97 chassis. And I'm going to show you how to make body mounts out of 4x4 chunks of wood and 1/2 inch all thread. Let's go! Watch your fingers.
Why are you so sweaty?
Listen, it ain't good, but it is less bad than it was before. Look at that. Look at that. Look at it from this angle, it's even better. But we're getting closer. These I think are 3/8, but I don't think they're 3/8 coarse like what I have in my bin over here, so I'm gonna have to figure that out. I just want to get some bolts in there to keep the fenders from running away, and then I can start squaring the cab up on the chassis. Because yeah, I think this gap here definitely bigger than this gap here, so I think this has got to come this way. But yeah, that's closer than she's been yet. And obviously I can't put the hood on because I've got my wood on there. I want to keep that on there until I get the cab and fender relationship figured out, because that's the width I want and I don't want it moving around. So, time to take a break, I think. It's getting hot out here for a hound dog. Hound, is it hot? Oh my God, Adam, please help me. He don't care, he's just sleeping. I swear that's sweat, not snot. I'm not quite that disgusting. Yeah. So, look at that, Matt. We cut a little bit off here. Still got enough for the hood hinge, but it was enough to get us where we could wiggle. So, there's more wiggling to do on this cab, but alright, time for a break. I'm so excited. It's getting closer. It ain't good, but it's less bad. So when I left off, I had the cab set on the chassis back up against the fenders, so it should be kind of located right. But what I'd forgotten about temporarily was the angle of the firewall. So when I cut the back of the floor pan off, I lost the body mounts on the back of the firewall. When I cut the back of the floor pan off, I lost that support that holds the floor pan in place. And also when I started cutting stuff out of the cab, it allowed that firewall to kind of tilt forward, which is right here, right? So I needed to figure out what angle that firewall needed to sit at. Well, luckily Maverick has an OBS truck, this 1 ton, also a big block. And I pulled it in so I could get a comparison. So I have this little cheapo angle finder I got from Harbor Freight, and I went underneath and I stuck it up on the frame, and I found the angle on the frame. And then I went over to my chassis and I stuck it in the same spot on the frame on that truck. And I figured out that my frame with no body on it is sitting at 6 degrees higher in the front than his truck is. So that gives me kind of a baseline, right? And I'm guessing at this. This all makes sense to me, so it's what I'm going with. And then I come over here and I look at the firewall, and It's hard to get anywhere on the firewall with my angle finder because it doesn't fit. One thing I could get was just set it on top of there. So the master cylinder. All right, so that gives me a good reference point. So I come over here. The master cylinder also has, it's a good point for leverage to kind of push and pull and lift on the firewall and move it. Problem is, once I start lifting on it, it gets up close to my 2x4 brace that was in the way and then out of the way and then in the way and then it's in the way again is the short. It's too late to make a long story short, but you know, it's in the way again. But anyway, so I came out yesterday and spent 2 or 3 hours checking angles, figuring this out, trimming the firewall again where I found that it didn't clear. We had some clearance problems on this side, so now we don't have clearance problems right there anymore. I think the whole firewall just needs to tilt back more, but I think we're also starting to run into some clearance problems in the cab again, because this stuff is all 97 obviously, and you can see we're starting to hit on the underside of the 57 dash. So may have to do a little more figuring today, and by figuring I mean probably more cutting, and get this bad boy to sit down better where we want, because right here where my finger is, it's hitting, which means the cab can't sit like down on the floorboards and come to rest there, and on the firewall at the same time. Because what I think I want is to pick the cab up a little bit, push the firewall back, set the cab down. That's what I think I want. What we do today may change that. I don't know. But I want to get that firewall back up to the right angle of the dangle so that I can hold it there permanently when I set the cab down and weld the cab to the firewall. Looking back now, I think that maybe me trying to keep the firewall to make some of that stuff easier, the brakes and clutch and that's basically all I kept from 97. That may have been a mistake. Maybe I should have just fixed the 57 cab, figured out how to attach it to this chassis and called it good. Because melding the 97 floorboard and firewall to the 57 cab is proving to be more of a challenge than I anticipated. I knew it was going to be a pain, but this is... yeah, it's even more of a pain than I thought it was going to be. So, anyway, we're going to get started, and I'd like an hour the first day, 3 hours yesterday, so we're 4 hours into fitting the cab this time. I know I did it a bunch before. 4 hours into the final cab fitment. We're about 10 minutes into being in the shop today, and look who's already on a break. Hound Dog, you gonna help me today, buddy? Hound Dog, you gonna help me? He's not gonna help.
He's a bum!
We're gonna have some fan noise. It's gonna be hot today, 103 I think. Looking forward to next week when it drops back into the 90s. Should feel like, you know, fall. Anyway, ain't nothing to it but to do it. We better get started. I really hate taking things all the way back apart again after I feel like I'm getting close, but this steering bracket is god-awful. And I think the only way to get it out of there is to really take the cab back off and trim it. The other thing is, like, you see that through the glove box? Why does that need to be there? It doesn't. I don't need all that. So why would I keep it in there? I should cut that out. And then, you know, you see this back here? That, I don't need that. That could come out. I guess what I'm saying is, even though it doesn't serve the purpose I'm trying to accomplish right now, well, it does, because this is in the way. I think we got to pull the cab back off so I can get to all this stuff and cut out some more 97 stuff that we don't need. I don't want to do that right now, but I think it's the right thing to do. Oh, I forgot to tell you, I spent a half hour looking for bolts, maybe more, and got those are not the right ones, but they fit it, because apparently the bolts to hold the body together on a lot of this are fine thread 3/8, because you know everybody has 3/8. What is it? 3/8 18, 3/8 16. But no, they're 3/8 24, because you know that makes all the sense, right? 3/8 16 is what I have everything of. Everything, I have like 12 of them. And 3/8 24, which I have 0 of, that's what this truck takes. So I think we'll unbolt the fenders from the cab. We're going to leave the fenders on the truck, hopefully. And we're going to slide the cab out from under there, move it back on the chassis. And then we'll cut out a bunch of stuff and take out some stuff that we don't need. And yeah, so you've seen me take the cab on and off a dozen times. I'm probably not going to film that. When we get to the interesting stuff underneath, we'll get some video of that. So you guys hang tight. Let me do some work. And presto changeo, the cab is off. All right. I don't know why I did that in a German accent. This is not a Volkswagen.
Into the sweeper very hard and fast.
While the cab was on, I reached through with a marker and I marked off all the stuff I don't need. Marked the line where the cab was hitting over here, which is our biggest concern really. And we got to be careful over here, because obviously if I cut this off, I'm going to lose some structure, which we can get back once the cab is attached. So I'm not super worried about it, but it's just something I feel like I need to think about. The other thing we got to be mindful of is all these pedals I wanted to keep are attached right there. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to cut this off like here, below where I need it, because it's going to come down more. We're going to cut across here, and we're going to kind of follow the top of the firewall, because this right here, I don't need any of that, because I have it in here, right? In theory, that's what all that is, right? Okay. I mean, the first time you do something like this, it's bound to be a soup sandwich, right? Because you don't know what you're doing. And then the next time, it'll be slightly less of a mess. I'm also going to pull all the insulation out of here, because right now, the only purpose it's serving is to create an additional fire hazard. And I don't need additional fire hazards.
Smokey the Bear says only you can prevent forest fires.
So we might pull that wiper motor off, because I'm pretty sure we're going to end up using 57 wipers, or maybe just a string, and we'll just whoop, 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 whoop. No? Maybe? I don't know. But I bet we're not using the 97 wipers. If nothing else, I don't know. But I'll leave it there. I don't need to mess with it right now, so why mess with it? Because it'll be in the way later? Yeah, probably. I also marked a spot on the firewall on the engine side. This mark and that mark over there. where we can take just the tickle off the top. And we'll look at this and make sure, like, we'll get these guys that are hanging down cleaned off, make that a little cleaner cut. Yeah, stuff I didn't notice till I started trying to fit things together, and I'm like, oh, somebody did a really crappy job on this. Okay, let's cut some more stuff and then see if that makes it better or worse. Yay! So this would probably be the best time to go around and clean the paint off the edges of that firewall, so that if I actually got a chance to weld it, I could. Oh yeah, and I was going to take that wiper motor off. So maybe we'll do a little bit of that. I know we're going to have this apart 4 or 5 more times probably, knowing me, but we'll clean some of that off now, and maybe if I get a chance to tack it, I'll be able to, because I'll have a clean metal surface to work with. So let's try that. It doesn't feel terrible hot out, but it is sweaty. Sweaty, sweaty, sweaty. You know what I'm saying? Alright, let's go. Let's go. No, I didn't mean that kind of let's go. I meant let's get to work. You ready to get to work? We're not going to go anywhere. There's nothing quite like the taste of fresh ground paint in the morning.
What?
Alright, I think I've trimmed all the stuff off that I wanted to trim off. I've said that before though. So I guess let's try... Let's put her back, see what happens, see if it fits better. What do you think? Is it going to work this time? Hasn't worked any other time. Why would it work now? Alright. Guess what? More stuff needs cut out of the way. Whew, not there. That one probably will have to be cut for the step though. We might be catching on the what's left of the body mount there. So we got some issues. That's going to have to go. That body mount, I don't know. Probably may as well cut it out because I don't think we're going to use it. I think we're definitely hitting right there. As Chesney pointed out. And that might be it. So, shoot. Why was that not hitting before? Maybe it was and I just didn't notice. Okay, so cab goes back again and we cut some more stuff. This is why you measure and don't just eyeball it. Idiot!
You idiot!
I feel like we're getting close. This side's pretty much there. I'll let that front down, it'll probably come into place. That side, some idiot didn't cut enough off. So yeah, there's a little brace under there I was trying not to cut into. I guess we're going to cut it now. I don't know. I know it's hot out here. It's not that hot, I just can't stop sweating because Texas humidity. Fun. Alright, let's set that down and then we'll set the front clip down. We'll probably find out that I need to move the cab back because that just hit me in my brain. We got our... Oh yeah, we're like 6 inches farther forward than we were before. You know, 6 inches. Let's let her down, see what we get. Gently. And we'll let the front down, also gently. That actually was gentle. See, what I tell you, that cab's way farther forward than it needs to be. Because I'm an idiot, apparently. This side's not. What are we caught on, though? Just... This side's actually not that far off. That side is way cockeyed. Crookeded. It is not moving. Well, I didn't even pay attention to where the firewall was. We got all the firewall. Boy, that certainly fit in here better, didn't it? Okay. I think we got to pick her back up a little bit so she'll move. Still stuck. Couldn't be all this. Could be. We'll bolt these fenders back on again and then try to reposition. Ooh. Yeah. Whee!
Now we're having fun.
All that wiggling and jiggling, look at this body line. Brian Martin, eat your heart out. How the heck did that happen? Oh, I know how it happened. She flexed a little. Like when I flex and the sleeves fall off my shirts. Woo! Body man! Not really. Now we're, 6 hours later, we're back where we started. I'm sure that bending and rebending all that metal's perfectly fine. tire's tucked way in. This tire's not tucked way in. This side's got lots of room. That side's got no room. So the whole thing, I think, needs to go this way. So the back needs to go a little bit like that. And the front needs to go a little bit like that. I don't think that was enough. That's better. That's great. It appears that I pulled my front body mount bolt out of the body mount. So we got to get that back in and get the cab picked up to do it. Cool! There's a lot of moving pieces to this. A lot of moving pieces. We're going to pick the cab up enough that it'll slide. And then we'll just push it, right? Maybe. Take this bolt out.
I think you're gross.
Put the bolt back in. Move the front end over as much as we can. I mean, I don't know that we fixed anything, but I don't know that we did it good, but we did it fast. Too far forward again. Ooh, on both sides. Might be time to get the motorcycle straps out again. Pull this bad boy where we want it. There's a little push here and there, it's just bouncing around. Have to come back some more. Let's get one on the other side, keep it from moving. Getting closer. Looked like it moved a lot. That's pretty close. One more click. Oh yeah. Money in the bank. How's this side look? Still way off. Two clicks. At least one more. Somebody made a mess knocking wood blocks over in here. Okay. Maybe one more. One more? Okay. Yeah, I like that better. Still like that. Side to side, I think we're going to adjust with the cab. Because I think that's what we're going to do. And then we'll see where the tires end up. I don't know. It's hot. Okay. Some hillbilly stuff, ain't it? Listen, I only have so many hands. I can't hold everything at once. Check this out. They're kind of beat up because I took it down the river twice, but Ches striped a cup for me. All right, we're back from the break. We got about 2 hours in today. That gives us, with yesterday, about 5 hours total this week. Now we got to get back to trying to fit the firewall and get everything to stand up and move the way it's supposed to be. Something I just remembered is, I'm not sure, I think I put something under the white floorboard, the 97 floorboard, to make it sit level, which is going to oppose what I'm trying to do now. So I need to look under there and see if I did indeed do that, and if I did, probably take it out to make it easier for the firewall to move back into the position it needs to be in. Yeah, sure did. I don't know that this is going to make that big of a difference, but every little bit helps, right? All right. We know that there's 6 degrees difference in my truck versus Maverick's truck. So this one's at 2. So when we go this way, it should be at 4 on the other side. The master cylinder, right? So really now I should be able to take my 2x4 off. That one's that's at about 2 now. So yeah, actually we can take the 2x4 off because it's bolted down here. That'll maintain our side to side. And then we can get the firewall where we want it. I think we got our 4 degrees. So that's where that firewall needs to sit. Just stay there. This, however, the truck is still too low. Okay, so we're still hanging off there. So now we can bring the front of the cab up. We just pull up on the crossbar, maybe? Let's try it. These gaps are better. They're still not great. I feel like if I could get this under that, it would cure both of my problems in one shot, potentially. What do you guys think? Is that going to work? That probably needs more trimming because it's higher. Just go straight across there to there. Maybe give her a little grindage. That's not what I wanted that to do. I just want to slip that under there, and then I think we'll be in a good place. Well, I Why won't you cooperate with me? Just work with me. If I let this down, can I push it back? I think we need another ratchet strap. Another ratchet strap? Maybe. Maybe that'll help us. Another person would be better, but you don't always have that luxury. Okay. Clearly the problem is the pry bar is not long enough. Let's see. Where are my big pry bars? I bet my children know. The boy children. Now we set the front down. My mom thought I was going to be a lawyer. I should have been an engineer.
Oh, no, 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 no.
Set it down real gentle like. I mean, that looks like it fits to me. You throw some booger welds on there and drive it. Boom! What do you think the odds are that the cab still looks like it's down in the front? What do you think the odds are that the cab is sitting the same place side to side as the front clip? Or that either one is level? Huh. That look like zeros. And that looks really, really close. Maybe a little high on the driver's side. Or it could be low on the passenger side. But the whole cab needs to come up in the front. But I think we need to loosen the hood, the fender bolts, to do that. Our line here still looks like it could go back here. This one, that one looks pretty good. So we might take this side back a click. Yeah, that looks pretty good. How do we look side to side? This way, side to side, not this way. Tires about even with the fender. Tires pretty close to even with the fender. We're real close. And now these fenders shouldn't move because they're against the cab. Although, does this side have anything to lay against? Oh yeah, it's totally good. Now we line up the back side to side, make sure we got the same distance. We did this once. Let's put our pin through and see how close we got. Not very. That's leaning a little bit. That should be holding more than it is. Oh, shoot. That's got some weight on it. Okay. I need to figure out a way to gently persuade the firewall back in that one spot. Maybe. So sometimes when stuff doesn't go just the way you need it to, you just have to gently persuade it. Consider that persuaded. I don't really know what to do now. Okay, I don't know how long I had the camera turned off for, but it's later and I've sweated a lot and pushed and pulled and lifted and lowered, and the firewall is better than it's ever been. Probably still not what I would call good, but it's better than it's ever been. As far as the cab, I've got it centered side to side this way, and I've got the front wheels lined up to the fender wells, and the cab and fenders are joined together so they can't move. And now I'm looking at how to secure the back. Now the holes that Matt and I drilled and measured and drilled back here, they're close, but they are definitely not perfect. You can see that leaning. I think they're going to be good enough for right now. We're going to tighten everything down because right now what's under it is a 4x4 block of wood, which is 3.5 by 3.5. But obviously I'm not going to use wood blocks for my mounting. You might have wondered that based on other stuff I've done. But no, I'm not going to. So that way I can get the back of the cab secured, and that way once the back doesn't move, I can get the front attached to the floor pan so that the front doesn't move. So right now I'm just going to make those holes work a little better, and then we're going to bolt this bad boy down temporarily and work on figuring out how to secure the front. That was really loud in there. Good, perfectly straight. This side's actually much closer. Now we can just tighten those down, right? Probably not. We'll roll around underneath it a little bit and see if we can just tighten them down. And then we'll be back. The other side's probably going to be more difficult. There's more in the way. Well, here's some new fun. My hole and my bolt are right there. So it's super easy to get to. We're definitely going to have to move those down, which means moving all the fuel lines. Probably just move them a couple inches and be fine, but what a pain in the butt. I guess I can go get my socket and take these guys out so that they can at least come down a little bit. Awesome. One step forward, 3 steps back. Here we go again. news is I think that it won't be too bad. We'll just move all them down a little bit. They should have enough flex in the lines to do it. We'll just have to be careful around the filter itself. I don't know if I mentioned, but these bolts I'm using are actually just chunks of all thread that are cut off. So sometimes it's difficult to get the nut started on the end of it. You know, when you're just holding it in your hand, let alone when you're upside down in a limited space with something else pushing on you and you can't see what you're doing. So it's super fun right now.
Now we're having fun.
If you've got the money for one of those kits, easy something, yeah, I would do that. Ouch. Well, there it is. So now we've got a nut on the bottom of both of them. We should be able to tighten these down because I've got 4x4 blocks holding them both. I made them way longer than what I needed because, you know, I didn't want them too short. I was worried about a lot of work for a temporary mount, ain't it? We can leave those on there because obviously we can't do that on the other side. I guess we'll have to use vice grips. It's, you know, it's not the worst thing I've done today. Alright, let's set you guys out here and release some of our motorcycle straps and see what they do. Might have moved a tiny bit. Check it with a tape measure here in a minute. That stayed right where it was. And the lines on the front are good. I know it's hard to see. I don't have a good light over here. Yeah. That is so cool to see the chassis moving with the body. I'll set you guys down so you can see it. Chaz, watch this. The chassis is moving with the body. Too bad it's still not even close. Now what do we do with this truck? Now we got to figure out how to connect the 97 cab to the 57 cab underneath. And I honestly was just thinking we'd cut the back of the floor pan and then bend it up and then weld it together. I don't know why that wouldn't work. The fact that this moves on its own, it's so cool. Makes me, I've said it before, makes me happier than it should. 3:44. All right, we still got time. Because that gives me, we're about 3 hours this afternoon. 2 hours. 12:44. 1, 2, 3. 3 hours so far this afternoon. 2 this morning, that's 5. 3 yesterday, that's 8. So 8 last week, we're at 8 so far this week. I told my wife a little while ago that I thought that I could have this thing ready to drive in 120 hours. Basically 3 work weeks. Not done, but take to cars and coffee. Lights work, everything functions, drives down the road legally-ish. I don't know. I still think it's a possibility. Probably depends on how much I stand around and talk to myself and you guys. Oh, I don't want to weld that to that yet because I need to be able to figure out my mounts. Or do I? Or do we just start welding? I don't know. I don't know what the answer is here. I've messed up so many times and had to go backwards that I'm trying to avoid doing that now. I guess we could work on this now. I've got the back of the cab bolted down. Now we could work on getting the firewall figured out. Got that right on the money. And do we weld it there? Do we dare start welding stuff? Because I mean, we could weld it and tack it right there. We could put something else somewhere else to help hold it. Because the cab mounts and stuff, we should be able to jack it up enough to put new ones in there, right? Should be able to get a good bip, bip, bip. We should be able to get a good measurement and then just build them. I think we start attaching this bad boy to the cab. I think that's what we got to do. So let's roll around underneath it a little bit. Remember what our floor pan looks like from the 97, and then we'll come back up here and maybe tack this. I wonder if I couldn't get Wyatt to do it, I'd have more confidence in it. There's not much there to work with. Oof. Yeah, I left a lot under here. The cab's definitely going to have to come back off. Or do I just cut the 57 floor out and then use the newer floor pan? I don't know, because I've still got quite a ways back. Like all the way to the back of the steps, I guess, on both sides. Yeah. What would happen if I did that? Would that make my life easier? It would give me more headroom. I don't know. I don't know what to do. My original plan was just lift that up to here. But if I came back to here, then I would have more space under the seat for stuff and things inside the cab. Stuff and things like speakers and stereo components and shoes and raincoats and snacks. I don't know. You got me thinking. I'm not sure what the answer is here. Help me out. What would you do if you were doing this, besides not do any of this the way I did it? If you were to this point and you're deciding whether to use 97 floor pan all the way to back to here, would you do it? Or would you keep 57 to the middle and just join them together there, like I was planning on? What would you do? I'm not sure what to do. I thought I was sure, and now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, hey, that might work better. Or it might not. I don't know. I mean, I'd still have the steps and everything. Nobody would have to know. The door opening is going to be the same either way. But if I cut this across here, or if I cut it like here and just brought it down and welded it, it might be easier to fold that down than it would be to fold the other up from underneath and then do it that way. I wish I could take that frame out of there and set my seat in there, but I don't think we're ready for that. But I could build brackets for the seat, however, whatever height I need, so that really doesn't change what we do here. I don't know. Well, I know it doesn't seem like we did much here, but it was about 8 hours of work. And it feels good that like the body's not flopping all over the place. I've now added more questions again, got some answers, added more questions. But that seems to be how this project's going to go. I also, in the time I was monkeying around, painted my rusty door hinges so we could put those back on the passenger side. But I don't think we're quite ready to do that because all this welding that we're going to do is going to be easier with the door off probably. And there's some more to be finished. Dang it, I don't know what to do. It's not great for a day's work, but it's not terrible for a day's work. You know, we're doing what we can with what we got to work with, which isn't much. As always, I appreciate you coming back to watch the videos and check out what we're doing. We're making progress, we're moving forward. And remember, until next time, if I can do it, you can do it. Thanks for watching.